Hello everybody, my name is Tanner Kyler, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to make a wildflower plot. This is the area that I'm going to be using this year. I've done several other wildflower plots in different ways, and most of the time the grass ends up taking over them. I have discovered a chemical called clethodim that only kills sod grasses, mostly won't kill our native grasses. It will harm a few, so if you're going to have an area with switch grasses and Canadian wild rye, it will kill those, so you have to be very careful when you're spraying around them. But it does a really good job at controlling fescue, Bermuda, and crabgrass. You know, are real weedy grasses that get into these plots and can ruin the vitality of the plants growing in here. So here I've already got started. I've already got some wildflowers laying here. These are some Maximilian sunflowers I cut down and just threw here to hopefully start seeding into this. But the area right here is, you can see the trash and stuff laying around right here near this well house. I had a bunch of stuff growing here with tarps laid down, so that's why the grass is dead right here, except for in this little area. And so I think it'll be a great area to start fresh from, because it's been laying here so long, especially right where I'm standing where this moss is growing. There should be a lot of, there's ladybugs all over me. There should be a lot of good soil here. There were hay bales, so we have this real rich humus that I'm going to spread out amongst this. I'm going to show you guys how to tend to this. So I've done a lot of research on it, and the best method is to kill what's existing here and then come back and rake it up with a rake. You do not want to use a tiller. If you use a tiller, it goes down too deep, goes down several feet, ends up damaging the soil layers, and then also brings up a ton of weeds that are deep down in the soil, and you'll have a lot more problems on your hands if you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the rake and start raking out, and I'll show you how to do that, and then we'll cut to whenever it's done, kind of show you the shape it's going to be, and then I'll teach you how to spread seeds into here. Now we're going to be spreading a lot of different species in here and hope that certain things grow up. Normally I just spread a ton of species in and hope that some of them take. You know, the ones that take to these soils are the ones that I'll be using, because they're the ones that want to grow here. Now this area, we have a willow tree and a pear tree here behind me. So one day it will be more shady. I'm going to put some sunchokes in here, and then if the wildflowers die out, I'll probably move them out to other places, use them as things to do cuttings with, and then once it gets too shady, hopefully the sunchokes will make it, because they are okay with partial sun. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here and kind of show you the process at which needs to be done to scrape the soil up before you prepare to put in seeds. Before we get there though, right here I have some of the stuff that I was growing. I took about 90% of it. These are the ones that are left. It's switchgrass, Indian grass, big blue stem, some Maximilian sunflowers here. Then I'm going to go ahead and plant in these plots along with all the stuff that I'm going to be spreading in. Next year I'll do an update where I use clethodim to try to kill out the grass. I'll show how I apply that as well. I'm going to actually apply some to the fescue already growing. It is November now. Something that needs to be known and something that needs to be thought about is you want to put your wildflower pot together after the first hard frost. So everything's dead in the soil and it's cold enough. Hopefully those seeds that you spread in won't try to germinate too early and then die from a frost. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that, and I'll go grab the rake real fast. All right, so now I have my rake here, and something to also, before we get started with this, is to think about your sun. If you're wanting to do, you can do full shade pollinator gardens, that works as well, and I'll probably swap things out as these trees get bigger, get some more shade tolerant stuff in here. But for right now, this area gets blasted with about 8 to 12 hours of sunlight during the summertime. So it's a very sunny area. That's why I was using it to grow. I actually had to put shade tarps up because it was too sunny. But now that I'm done using this area, I'm just gonna come here. I'm gonna scrape the ground up here. And see, it's removing all the weeds that are growing here. And what I'm doing is just agitating the soil, because most of these seeds don't need to go more than a 1/4 inch or even 1/10 of an inch, a few millimeters in the soil to be covered up. So we don't want to, you know, really tear deep down. We also don't want to destroy the soil layers. So right here, what I've already done right here is probably good enough for this area. So I'm just going to keep going along. I'm going to kind of make the shape of the garden I'm wanting. I'm going to kind of do a bean shape through here. So I still have room to run the mower back behind here so we can walk around this area. Because this is also our garden right back here. So we grow a lot of okra and cucumbers and other things that aren't native. And then here I'm going to do a wildflower plot mixed with sunchokes, and we're going to use this as a sunchoke growing plot as well. So I'm going to keep moving along, scraping up the ground here. And it's pretty much this simple. You just need to come around, disturb the soil. It'll make those seeds get into the soil a little better, have less competition. When they come up in the spring, we'll have you know, a lot of different stuff coming up in this area. This area right here is really dead, and this is going to be our prime example. And we also have all this pile of humus here. This humus I'm going to spread out evenly because that's so organic, full of so much nutrients. It's going to really help all this grow. I don't even probably really need to scrape this area up too much because of that. I'm going to go ahead and destroy all this moss because it's going to die anyways. It'll come back whenever the plants are here though, on the understory. So now I've got this nice bed. This area is already prepared. And I got to come around this whole area. I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and you know, and then we'll, you know, I'll start back with the seed spreading here in a minute. All right, so now I got this all raked up real nice. I spread that humus out evenly across it. It's a nice figure 8 shape. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick that up, but now we got this whole area, the topsoil nice and agitated. We only agitated probably about 1/2 inch of the soil at most in areas. Sometimes that is going to help these seeds fall in and get nice and inoculated into the soil. So here I have a bag that I have of plenty of wildflower seeds that I collected yesterday. Here we have some stiff goldenrod. And what I'm going to do, because see they fly in the wind so aggressively, I'm going to come down close, and we have some Canadian goldenrod here. So what I'm mostly going to be spreading is these late blooming things. I'm going to continue adding things in. I'm going to put in bee-balm plugs in here. I also right over here have all of these grasses that I grew that I'm going to plant out here to get a good range of grasses, some Maximilian sunflowers as well. So here I'm going to go ahead and just come down close to the ground so they don't flutter way too much. I'm going to spread all of this. There goes a ton of that seed in there. So here I'm spreading thousands of seeds into this. So here we have some stiff goldenrod that I'm spreading in. We also have a ton of asters in here, as well as some liatris. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take all these and throw them out here. You can see all that seed fluffing off of them. I'm just gonna toss them all in a pile. That way I can get them all out evenly. Go ahead and spread all this in here. I got a bunch of sumac as well that I probably won't grow in here. I need to boil those. I'm gonna spread all that out. So now there's a huge accumulation of seed here. We have all this seed. This is some goldenrod right here. Gonna go ahead and, I don't know if you can see all those seeds flying around in the wind, but I mean, we're talking millions of seeds, and they're gonna pop up everywhere here. Far more than we're even gonna need probably. So goldenrod's going to be probably the main bulk of this. We got some stiff goldenrod. Actually this right here, these are asters. I don't know what species of aster. We have so many here. We have New England asters, smooth asters. Most of them are yellow or white or purple. They're related to the mums that you'll see planted everywhere, except for these actually improve the wildlife around here. It's gonna help improve the ecology. We got so many. I'm gonna save some to spread over here into the restoration area, but I wanna make sure that I get a good amount of these spread in here first. So I'm probably spreading well over 1 million seeds into this currently, and I'm hoping a good majority of them take off. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss these to the side now. Right here we have some round-headed lesbidiza. I'm going to spread in here. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Go ahead and crumple all those up. Toss all these to the side. Oh, we have some rattlesnake master as well. And I want to spread those. These are pokey. Very difficult to spread without stabbing yourself. Just go ahead and spread them all in here and get it so thick. And then I'm going to come along and I'm going to pack this in with my feet to help hold them in place. And I'm going to give them a good drink of water. That should help hold them in the soil, wash them down into the soil. And I might even come back and do a light rake over them again to kind of bury them down in the soil so they can get that good cold stratification. Cold stratification is pretty simple. It's just these plants have evolved to need these winter months where they get dormant, they get cold freezes, and then they wake back up in the spring, and that lets them know whenever it's time to grow so they don't grow in the wrong time of year. So I'm going to go ahead and toss these here. Look at all the seed we have here. Now a lot of these are tough, so a lot of them are going to blow away in the wind, but you can see right here, just look how many can come out of these seed heads. So we have a ton of seed heads here. I'm going to save those to spread out. And then now that I did that, I'm going to go ahead and also start placing these all around in the restoration area. This is like a small little pocket prairie. So this is going to be a pocket prairie or a wildflower garden. We're going to have it mixed with grasses though, so we're just going to kind of plant these along kind of in the middle here, kind of sporadic, and use them as the matrix. The matrix is just what's going to be an accumulation of what will grow up in a lot of these areas. This guy was growing into the soil. You see all that soil still in the base of it. That's a switchgrass there, so whenever we spray, switchgrass is something we're going to have to be careful about. So we're going to spread these mature in here, sometimes called moonflower. Spread the rest of that seed in. Got a lot more here. I'm going to spread in, like I said, bergamot, wild bergamot onto here. Right here we have some more stiff goldenrod. I want a bunch of this stiff goldenrod, very beautiful plant. And I'm hoping that this becomes the majority of what's in here. And I'm going to keep spraying this with clethodim to keep the Bermuda and the other grasses from growing in and taking over everything. Here we have a Maximilian sunflower. Got seed heads here. Just going to pop those guys all off in here and grow them at random. You can actually choose where you want to put your seeds as well. And I have plenty of them that I'm going to bring as well that are at my house currently. That I'm going to spread in here throughout the winter months. But that's going to increase the amount of biodiversity in this spot. So we can plant a lot in these prairies. In the prairies, everything's growing up real tight next to each other. So we can have a lot of plants spread into all this area. So now I have most of the grasses placed where I'd like them. And I'm kind of keeping them towards the middle and hope that the wildflowers grow on the edge, because a lot of these grasses want to flop over when they get too large. So hopefully they'll be right here in the middle. What it's going to look like. I'm going to do plenty of updates of this area into the future. But one of the things I am going to do actually before I do the rest of this, we also have a bunch of plugs of purple coneflower that I'm going to spread in here as well. But I'm just going to go over and do a nice little rough thing to bury these seeds in there, and then we'll wet them down to bury them in a little bit better. And like you see, I'm not going too aggressive over them. I'm just kind of fluffing them into the soil. These pots are going to make it difficult. Probably should have done this before I put the pots in, but it's not a big deal. We're going to have more than enough, I think, growing up in this area. It's really hard to overplant these prairies. They're going to try to dominate over each other, but all this stuff grows at different times of the year, blooms at different times of the year. So you'll have stuff come up in the spring, like the bergamot, and June, July, kind of take over it. Then it'll die back, and the goldenrods and the asters will take over the rest. But I think that's about it. Here, I'm going to go ahead and water this in now. We also have a few sedges already growing in here. Just a second, this thing's firing up. We're going to go ahead and do that, and that should just help wash all these seeds into the soil appropriately. Go ahead and just spread all of this in here, and this will be much more apparent in the spring when I do a few mows around it, and it comes up around, come into this early summertime around June. It should be really prolific with wildflowers, and all these grasses should be waking back up. So these grasses also need a nice drink of water as well. And whenever I bury them, it's okay that the wildflowers are going to grow up through the middle of the grasses. They would in the wild, and that's how they're supposed to grow, all intertwined together. There's going to be a root system, massive root system going down here. This will get probably around 6 feet tall all the way across, maybe even taller into the future as these trees get bigger. It's going to be an excellent area, and then I'll probably slowly swap out the native or the sun tolerant ones with the less sun tolerant ones. I'm going to plant some sunchokes or Jerusalem artichokes. I did a video on those another at a different point a couple months ago. If you guys want to check that video out. Excellent food source. It's a native sunflower to most of North America and a great source of food, very similar to potatoes. Now that this is nice and watered, there's also some sedges coming up in here. That's really cool. So they'll have some native sedges already coming up. But now that this is watered in, I kind of made a berm around here so it'll hopefully hold water a little bit better. But I'll go ahead and throw some clips of these after they're planted. It probably won't be till tomorrow because I'm going to start planting them now, and it'll probably finish it up tomorrow morning. Go ahead and plant all these in. So right here there'll be a clip of those showing, and I'll give those a few seconds to run through. But anyways, I think that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like or leave a comment if you have any questions. If I left something out in here, I want to make sure that you guys get answered. I try to respond to all the comments. But until next time, I hope you have a good rest of your day.